Well, welcome back. We heard from Joseph Yubord. Lots of things he had to say. He didn't get the platform. But right now, these kids are having it. And, of course, they'll take advantage of it. I love what he said, that he's going to pick one of those kids. And, of course, you know what that means? First 11. That's going to be huge.
Yes, you mentioned something. He has an academy. That's no secret. And if he's picking any of this team, any of these players, obviously, maybe to take the player to his academy. And he said something which was very key, that this platform you're giving these players, that during his time, they did not have it. And that's very true, because there's a certain beverage company that used to organize something when we were much younger. That was like the only thing we used to see when we were much younger. But this is one very vital opportunity for these guys, not just to shine, but also to show that, look, you know, I have what it takes to go all the way.
Okay. All right, quickly, let's look at the Women's League right now. It's mid-season, right? After 7 matches, they're going to go on a break. Then you have the first one that's over, because the second one is going to start. But then we'll just take a look at some games that went down on Wednesday evening, and very big games. I mean, with Nassau Amazons understanding and knowing that they're champions, so they had something to really tell everyone. 6-0, that was a washing. FC Robo away from home are losing. If you can get to see the fixtures coming from the result, and of course fixtures from the Nigerian Women's Football League, having some of these teams not just winning, but winning convincingly, starting with the game between Abia Angels and FC Robo. That one ended 3-0. Sunshine Queens. Okay, there you have it. Group A. Yeah, match day 7 result. Group A, Edo Queens and Confluence Queens ended in favor of Edo Queens 2-0. Heartland Queens and Delta Queens goalless. It ended. Rivers Angels and Ibom Angels 2-2. It ended. Rivers Angels was not a good one. It was Evelyn Wambuko had to rescue a point for them. In Group B, you have Sunshine Queens and Oshun Babes. Sunshine winning by lone goal. This is the game I'm talking about. You know, you have 2 ladies actually scoring a hat-trick in this one. Nassau Amazons beating Adamawa Queens by 6-0. And, of course, you have Abia Angels and FC Robo. Abia Angels winning by 3-0. FC Robo losing. Now, for today, you have some 2 games for today. Bayelsa Queens and Shaw Babes will be in action. Jokodolu Babes and Pelican Stars will also be in action. If you can see what the table is really looking like after 7 matches in the Nigerian Women's Football League, where you have Sunshine Queens, of course, just trying to see how they can really stay at the top. And, well, for the likes of Heartland, the likes of FC Robo, they're not really having a good season at all. It's been very competitive, Wilfred.
Yeah, Heartland, no surprises. Even last season, they didn't have a good season. FC Robo, they seem to be very good when they play. Even in Lagos, they struggle, funny enough. Yeah. And so I think it's the strength of Rashidat Ajibade which pushed them, you know, last season. But going into the season, you also made mention of Nasarawa Abazons, a surprise winners, I would say, from last season. Yeah. Many of us expected maybe Pelicans, Rivers Angels to continue their dominance, but that wasn't the case. But for Rivers Angels, yesterday, they were almost going to lose that game because at some point in the first half, they were 2-0 down, but eventually had to rally back and draw that one 2-2. But you now look at it, in the penultimate game they played before moving to the Shark Stadium. They played one game at the Shark Stadium, they won 4-0, and they felt, oh, okay, this is the best place to play football. But they were almost losing the next game. Right. But very competitive league, I must say.
Yeah, very, very. I'm looking at this particular group where you have Ibom Angels leading, followed by Delta Queens. Rivers Angels are third in this one after 7 matches. Edo Queens, Bayelsa Queens, Confluence, Shaw Babes, and Heartland. Heartland struggled last season. This season it's all started for them. Okay, now quickly, let's just move straight to NNL. What's happening there, results coming from there, and also the fact that after, okay, that's another group where you have Sunshine Queens, of course, still topping. Pelican Stars, Jokolodu Babes, and Oshun Babes, all of them at the bottom. FC Robo are 5th, not a good position. This is where they wouldn't want to be, you know, once the circumstance starts. Okay, now let's go to NNL now. What happened in Bayelsa? You know, when you draw a game of almost losing and a team had to come, you know, almost beating you somehow. All the technical crew has been fired. They'll be replaced. That's totally about Bayelsa United. But if you can look at the fixture, the results from the National League, A1, you have Sokoto and Bimbo Sporting Club at 2-0, Adamawa and Gombe United goalless, Real Stars and Gidano 3-1, Zamfara Malufashi 2-0, and Jigawa and EFCC. Jigawa winning 3-0. NAF FC of Abuja and Kaduna United, that one ended 1-1, and Kogi United thrashing Zaraba FC 6-1. And Aklosendi and Kada City beating Aklosendi 3-2. They won away from home. Mighty Jets and Road Safety 2-0. Mighty Jets winning that one. Now moving to the next one, where you have Bayelsa, of course, and Insurance. That's the one we talked about. B1, where Insurance had to go to Bayelsa to get a point from the 3, or more like a goal first there. JRTT and 3SC of Ibadan. JRTT winning by lone goal. Aqua Starlet and Spartans. Lagos failed to show up, so it was a walkover for Aqua Starlet. And Abia Comets and Gateway, that ended goalless in B1. And B2, Crown FC and Insurance Stores. Crown FC winning 2-0. Remo Stars and Delta Stars winning a Delta Force and Dynamo Force. It was Delta Stars winning by a lone goal. Okay, now let's take a breather and go to where Tayo quickly. Super Eagles camp. Was it the first game for today? Calabar Rovers and Inewi United will be in action today.
Right. So let's go to the Super Eagles camp now.
Quickly.
Yeah, the Eagles are still getting ready for Monday's World Cup qualifier. It's not World Cup qualifier, international friendly against DR Congo. And for you, you've seen the players in camp already.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, 27 of them. We're still expecting the arrivals of Joseph,
Victor Moses,
Mikel Obi, and John Ogu.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 guys that are yet to arrive in camp. But from what you've seen so far, and the pictures that the guys are posting on social media, it seems they're all excited. I mean, it's just DR Congo, and it's not even, no disrespect to them. It's not England yet, but they're excited, and they cannot wait to play this game.
Well, the excitement might not be because of the DR Congo game. It's the prospect of going to the World Cup. Because for all 30 of them that were invited for that preliminary squad, it tells you out of 180 million plus Nigerians, this is quite a big opportunity for them. And remember again that they might be smiling, but there's also tension in camp. We don't know who the 7 players that will be dropped eventually before 4th of June, which is the deadline for the submission of the final 23-man squad for the World Cup. But again, this now raises the question, the players who are not in camp, does this give them an undue, would this put them at disadvantage as regards making the final 23-man squad? Well, anyway, they had their first training session yesterday, and that was in Uyo, and they had to vacate the stadium in the evening and went to the gym because Aqua United had to play a rescheduled MPFL game at the same Godswill Akpabio Stadium yesterday. But in all, we hear they will leave on Saturday for Port Harcourt ahead of that game against DR Congo on Monday. And so far, everything going well, and let's just wish the team the very best.
Yeah,
interesting. Wish them the very best. Celia, we should just run through some of the players in camp, and it's the usual suspect. They're all there basically. You just keep Wilfred. You see all those guys are there already, and they all getting set. Olayin Noel, Chejile. The latest arrivals in town. That's the one we should really talk about. Brian Idowu, one of the latest arrivals in camp. Ahmed Musa is in camp as well. Shehu Abdullah is arrived as well too. It looks like he has that right back spot locked.
Maybe Tiranebue could also play from that position.
I heard of Shehu.
You never can tell. He's moved to Benfica recently. But yesterday, worrying since this guy trained alone yesterday, Wilfred Ndidi. And we know he's been injured for a while. And so we don't know if he'll be fit ahead of the World Cup. But for the fact that he trained alone yesterday, then that tells you that
the medical teams are monitoring him.
Especially. So we wish him quick recovery because we need him in that midfield. That's the
scaring him?
No, but let's be frank. If you take away Wilfred Ndidi, what other options do you have? You'll be forced to play maybe Joel Obi. That's if he makes sense. John Ogu and maybe Onazi. Wouldn't you prefer to have maybe a John Ogu, Wilfred Ndidi, or maybe Onazi, Wilfred?
If it comes to
we have options, but it's just that it's not.
The options are not as good as when you have Ndidi in it.
Yeah, we know what he can do.
Exactly.
Fair point.
So we're praying for him to be fully fit for the World Cup.
Exactly. Hopefully Wilfred Ndidi is truly fit for the World Cup. For Nigeria's opener against Croatia on June 16. Talking about players and getting fit for the World Cup, Neymar, the talisman for Brazil, has returned to training, and there's jubilation in the land because this guy, I mean, is carrying the hopes of a massive country like Brazil, even though it's just 25. And we understand why. He's the most talented in that side. He's a talisman. And that's him there returning from a metatarsal surgery. And he's looking good. And Brazil, they can start celebrating that. Neymar will actually make it to the World Cup.
I hope he's not being rushed, and we have a Neymar at the World Cup that is not totally fit. We know every player wants to play at the World Cup, and when you're from South America, it's a very big deal when you win the World Cup, not just playing it. And so Neymar, this is one trophy that has remained elusive, and obviously would want to help his Brazilian team go all the way. And they've had a very fine run under Tite. The Tite took over, took them through the qualifiers. They were the first team to qualify, very massive. And apart from that, they conquered the world at the Confederations Cup last year in Russia with fantastic results. And so when you look at that, really, they are one of the favorites going into this one. But again, you also have to look at Germany. But let's just stick to this guy.
That's Brazil.
Yeah, it's good to see him back, but I just hope he's really
He's
fit.
not being rushed, right? You hope that's not the case. So.
Okay, now, you see the guy that is taken away seems to be Douglas Costa. He had a five problems during training.
Yeah, Douglas. So, Douglas, another crucial player in that side. Hopefully,
this one injury. Hopefully, he will be fit.
Hopefully, it's not been too serious. We'll see. We'll see about that. Let's move on now from international football. Let's talk about club football. And let's talk about the guy of the moment, Unai Emery, the new coach of Arsenal. In case you missed it, I'm sure you didn't even miss it. Unai Emery is the new coach of the Gunners. He replaces Arsene Wenger, whose departure was confirmed in April. That's him right there on the turf of the Emirates Stadium alongside Chief Executive Ivan Gazidis. This, Wilfred, this man on your screen there, this guy has done it all. He's won trophies from Sevilla to PSG, but it still seems to be a few doubters out there. Why do you think that's the case?
Well, maybe because he's not really won league titles apart from the one he won at PSG, and everybody's expected to win when you're a PSG coach. Thomas Tuchel is there, we expect him to go on and win, even though he's only won one DFB Pokal.
You can win the league title in France as
well. That's what somebody even told me my grandfather can win it. Yes, that's how far people have gone.
They can actually win even without a coach. Okay.
Yes, but looking at Emery, obviously, we shouldn't discredit him for all the things he's done. Sevilla, at the point he took over, were not really at the top there, but he kept them behind Barcelona and Real Madrid. And when you look at that feat, it was really massive, always playing in the Champions League. He moved from there to Sevilla, and he conquered Europe 3 times, even though you could say it's the lesser competition. But that's still something. It shows you a manager who has pedigree and a winning mentality. But going into Arsenal now and coming from a PSG where he won 7 out of 8 trophies domestically, surrendering the most important though to the Principality team, that's Monaco. But again, at Arsenal now, Arsenal playing the Europa League. No disrespect to them, this is what they need to try maybe win the Europa League and qualify for the Champions League automatically. But playing in the Champions League, there's a problem because at PSG, this guy had all the players and they crashed out twice at the round of 16. That should be a worry for Arsenal because Arsenal have not gone beyond the round of 16 of the Champions League for as long as 8 seasons now or thereabouts. And they need somebody who would move them beyond that point, and that's where they should worry.
You doubt that man is
well, he could do it, but the doubt should be there also because I was listening to Ivan Gazidis speak yesterday, and when he was asked about the transfer kitty, how much would be made available to Unai at the club, and he said that they are a PLC club, and for the fact that they are a PLC club, that they can only give what's available. And if you go through the record books, you get to see how much they have available, and that's all will be available to Unai. So we don't know, no figure has been pegged to that, but one thing we know is that Emery might have to work with a lot of players presently at Arsenal, and if that's the case, that might not work well for him.
Okay, all right. Let's see here from Unai Emery now. That will be after this break.